Good morning. This is the wolf just hanging out here outside in the middle of my tomato patch. It's actually my tomato starts, having some coffee and wanted to make a quick video on why it's so important to harden off your vegetables, especially tomatoes, before you plant them outside. Now, what I did is I grew my tomatoes from seed, which takes some time. You start this about 8 to 10 weeks before you transplant them to your garden. So I started mine early February. I got my starts going, and let's see if I can give you a little selfie with me and the tomatoes. Let's see, you have quite a few here. Had about 30 left. I've been giving some out to friends and family. Had about 44 when I started, and as you may know, tomato plants put out a lot of tomatoes. Most people don't need 40 tomato plants for themselves. So about hardening, there's a couple things going on. Tomatoes especially, they're very sensitive, they're delicate, they're temperamental. They're like girls. You have to be very careful with how you handle them. What happens if you don't harden them off before you put them in the ground? When you do put them in the ground, the sun is so bright, they're not used to the strength of the sun, and they'll get destroyed very bad, because you want to keep all of your garden vegetables, all your plants, you want to help them to stay as stress-free as possible. So when you harden them, what this means is you take them outside and you expose them to the elements. Now, as you can see here, I'm not moving this. There's a gentle breeze pushing this back and forth. Very important for the plant. This is like them going to the gym. This is how a tomato does its bench press, so to speak, so we can get strong. What happens is when the wind blows, it goes like this. What that's doing is down here, it's stressing the plant, progressive overload, just enough to make it want to grow stronger. When you do that, you harden them off, let them get stronger, the roots will go stronger, it'll be a much better prepared plant for when garden season starts. The second thing is, by having them exposed out here, they're getting exposed to the sunshine. Today is a very nice and bright, beautiful day. What happens when the plant's not ready for it yet, and you do that, it does this. Now, what's happening here, it's wilting, as you see. The reason why tomato plants do that, when it wilts like that, reduces the surface area on the leaves, so it's less exposed to the sun. Very important. So what you do is, when you're hardening these out, you start off light. You take your tomatoes, for instance, you take them outside for very short amounts of time, maybe 15 to 30 minutes the first time, and you watch them. When they start to get wilted, like our little friend here is not too happy, it's had about enough of a workout for today, bring them back inside. The next day, same thing, bring it back out. Maybe this time you go to 35 minutes. Today, I've had these guys out here all together. It's been maybe going on 2 hours now, and most all of them are doing really good, except for there's a couple that are ready to go back inside. So keep an eye on them. When they look like they're struggling, end the workout, so to speak, bring them back inside. The next day, do it again. By doing this, for context, we have about 2 weeks left until these tomatoes will go in the ground, so usually do it at least a week. I like to do it for 2 weeks. Each day I'll bring them out a little bit more, a little bit more. They'll get stronger, just like you and I go to the gym to get stronger. The tomatoes will get stronger. And a big thing that happens, tolerance to the heat goes way up. The stalks get very, very strong. What I mean is, you'll see these guys right here, the stalk, from going like this all the time in the wind, the stalks will thicken the root base will thicken, and by the time you're ready to get your garden going for real, springtime, put them in the dirt, your plants will be ready. You'll get more tomatoes, a better harvest. Everybody wins. And that's that. So that's just a quick thought on why it's so important to harden off your vegetables and how. Let's take it one day at a time. That's it. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.